In 2019, a delivery driver named Marcus followed his GPS down a road he had never seen before. He made his delivery. He spoke to people. He saw buildings, streets, a church, a school. He drove home. The next morning, he tried to find the address again. The coordinates led him to an empty field. No road, no buildings, nothing. Marcus filed a report. The report was closed within 48 hours. Reason given, driver error. But Marcus wasn't the only one who had seen something that day, because 3 weeks later, on a highway 12 miles from that empty field, a police officer found 5 children walking alone at the side of the road. No parents, no ID, no shoes, and every single one of them was singing the same song. A song that, as far as anyone can determine, does not exist. Stay with me. Officer Daniel Reeves was on a routine patrol on State Route 89 in rural Nevada when he saw them. 5 children. The youngest appeared to be around 6. The oldest, no older than 11. Walking in a single file along the gravel shoulder, facing traffic, as if they had done this before. He pulled over. He asked them where they were going. None of them answered. He asked where they came from. The youngest one, a girl with dark hair and bare feet, looked at him without expression and said one word: home. Reeves looked down the road in both directions. There was nothing. No houses, no driveways, no tire tracks, just the highway, cutting through open desert in both directions as far as he could see. He put all 5 children in his patrol car and drove them to the nearest station. What happened next is where the story starts to get difficult to explain. At the station, a social worker named Patricia Holt was called in to conduct the initial assessment. She sat with the children for 3 hours. In her report, which we obtained through a public records request that took 11 months to process, she described what she found in careful, clinical language. But even through the bureaucratic phrasing, the details are hard to dismiss. The children could not provide their surnames. They could not name a city, a state, or a country. They did not recognize photographs of nearby towns when shown to them. But they were not confused. They were not frightened. They were calm, almost unnaturally calm, and they knew things. One of the older boys, Patricia referred to him only as Child C in her report, was able to correctly name the chemical composition of the soil in that specific region of Nevada, not approximately, correctly, in precise geological terms that Patricia noted were beyond the vocabulary of most adults she knew. Child B, a girl of approximately 9, was able to describe the migratory pattern of a specific bird species native to that corridor of Nevada, including seasonal variations that had only been documented in a 2016 academic paper with fewer than 200 citations. None of this was asked of them. They offered it freely, as if sharing things they assumed everyone knew. Patricia wrote in her final note, "These children are not lost. They know exactly where they are. What they don't seem to know is that where they came from does not appear to exist." This is where most people who hear this story pause, because all 5 children, at various points during their time at the station, independently, without prompting, sang the same song. Not a nursery rhyme, not anything recognizable. A melody that several staff members described as slow, structured, and strangely familiar. The way a piece of music feels familiar, even when you have never heard it before. One of the officers, a woman named Kara, recorded approximately 40 seconds of it on her personal phone. She shared it with 3 music teachers in the area. All 3 said the same thing. The melodic structure was consistent with folk music from the mid-19th century American frontier, but the specific melody matched nothing in any archive they could access. Not the Smithsonian Folkways collection, not the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress, not any regional folk music database. One of the teachers went further. She said the harmonic intervals used in the melody were characteristic of a compositional tradition that had not been in active use since approximately 1870. The children sang it perfectly, in unison, every time. When asked what the song was called, they all gave the same answer. The Going Home Song. Child Protective Services opened a missing persons inquiry. Photographs of the 5 children were distributed across Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and California. The images were shared with federal databases. DNA samples were taken and run through every available system. Nothing came back. No missing persons reports matching their descriptions had been filed anywhere in the country. No school records, no medical records, no birth certificates that could be matched to any of the 5. It was as if they had appeared from nowhere. At this point, the case attracted the attention of a researcher at the University of Nevada named Dr. James Calloway. Calloway specialized in what he carefully called anomalous population events, cases where individuals appeared in locations without traceable origin points. He had documented 11 such cases in the American Southwest over a period of 20 years. He drove to the station. He spent 2 days with the children. When he left, he filed a request with 3 separate federal agencies for records related to unregistered residential communities in the Nevada desert. All 3 requests were denied. Classification level, not disclosed. Calloway told a colleague, in an email that was later shared with us, "I've been doing this for 20 years. I've never had all 3 come back denied on the same day." He began writing a paper. He never finished it. Marcus, the delivery driver from our opening, remember him? He had not forgotten what he saw. After his report was closed, he drove back to the coordinates on his own, 3 times. Each time, an empty field, flat, dry, unremarkable. A few scrubby desert plants, no foundations, no road markings, no evidence that anything had ever been built there. But on his 3rd visit, he noticed something. At the edge of the field, there was a rusted metal post, the kind used to hold a street sign. The sign itself was gone, but the bolt holes in the post were clean, not weathered, not rusted, as if the sign had been removed recently. He took photographs. He posted them online with a detailed account of everything he had experienced. The post received 43 comments before it was removed by the platform for violating community guidelines. Marcus could not identify which guideline had been violated. He still cannot. He no longer talks about it publicly. When we reached out to him for this story, he responded with 3 words: "Please don't contact." We respected that. The town, if it is a town, does not have a confirmed name. But in the 1954 Rand McNally Road Atlas, digitized and available through the Library of Congress, there is a settlement marked at approximately the same coordinates where Marcus made his delivery. Its name in that atlas is Harlow Creek. Population listed 3,200. It shows a post office, 2 schools, a water tower, a main road running north to south. We checked every subsequent edition of that atlas, the 1957 edition, the 1961, the 1968. Harlow Creek disappears after 1960. No note, no explanation, no "see also," just gone. We contacted Rand McNally's archival department to ask about the omission. We received an automated response acknowledging receipt of our inquiry. That was 14 months ago. We have not received a follow-up. This is the part of the story that is hardest to explain away. A researcher, who prefers not to be named, we'll call her R, spent 8 months filing Freedom of Information Act requests related to tax filings from rural Nevada zip codes. What she found was this. Every year, for at least the past 30 years, a cluster of tax returns has been filed from a zip code that does not correspond to any officially recognized geographic area in Nevada. The returns are consistent. The same number of filers, the same general income range, the same zip code. The IRS processes them without issue. R contacted the IRS to ask about the zip code. She was told it was a known administrative code used for certain special status communities. She asked what special status meant. She was told that information was not available under the Freedom of Information Act. She asked which exemption applied. She was told, national security. R sent us her documentation before she stopped responding to messages. That was 6 months ago. The 5 children stayed in state care for 31 days. On the 32nd day, a woman arrived at the facility. She presented identification, which the staff described as valid but unusual in format, unlike any state ID they had seen before. She said she was the aunt of all 5 children. She provided names that matched the names the children had given for themselves. She signed the release forms. She took the children, and she left. Officer Reeves, who had found the children on the highway, heard about this and drove to the facility to ask questions. He wanted to see the ID she had presented. He wanted a copy of the release forms. He was told the file had been transferred to a federal agency pending a routine administrative review. He asked which agency. He was told that information was not available. He filed a formal inquiry. His inquiry was acknowledged. It has been under review for 2 years. The children have not been seen since. Here is what we can confirm. A delivery driver reported making a delivery to a location that does not appear on any map. His report was closed without investigation. 5 children with no traceable identity were found on a highway 12 miles from that location. They possessed knowledge inconsistent with their apparent age and background. They sang a song that does not exist in any archive. A settlement called Harlow Creek appeared on maps until 1960 and then vanished without explanation. Tax records suggest a community of approximately 3,000 people continues to file returns from an unrecognized zip code, classified under national security exemption. A researcher who was documenting the case stopped communicating. A journalist who filmed footage inside what may be the location had her account suspended and has not been heard from since. A university researcher who began writing about anomalous population events in this region never completed his paper. Here is what we don't know: whether any of this is connected, whether the children are safe, whether Harlow Creek still exists, and why, every single time someone gets close to an answer, the answer disappears. We want to be clear about something. We are not telling you what to believe. We are not saying the government is hiding a secret town. We are not saying the children came from another dimension. We are not saying any of this is supernatural. We are saying, these are the facts we found. These are the questions nobody answered. And these are the people who went quiet. Draw your own conclusions. But before you do, search for Harlow Creek. Check the 1954 atlas. Look at the coordinates: 38.47, 21 degrees north. 117.8203 degrees west. Tell us what you find or don't find. Leave a comment, share this video, and if you know something we don't, you know where to find us.